Who here has ever second guessed themselves in an important decision or made a decision that didn't end well, even though you just knew it was wrong, but you ignored the insight? Yeah, me too. As it turns out, we know more than we think. And I'm going to show you as much as is possible in just the few minutes we have how you can make decisions faster and more accurately using your deep inner wisdom. I remember a time early in my career when I used my inner wisdom for the first time, and it absolutely changed my life. When I was just starting out, I was living in a state of constant stress. Can anyone relate? I was up at 5 a.m. in the morning, breakfast in my car, at work by 7 or 8. I was eating lunch at my desk. I was working till 7 or 8 at night, going home, dragging myself, falling into bed. I was working weekends. I was pulling all-nighters. I hadn't even taken a vacation in 5 years. And then, under the stern recommendation of a friend, thank goodness for friends, right? I did take a vacation. I went to Sedona, Arizona, and I spent 5 days there, and I slowed down. I slept in. I hiked. And one of those hikes took me to the Airport Mesa Vortex. If anyone knows about that, it is considered to be an energy center. Definitely is that. It's also a breathtaking view of the Red Rock Valley. And I was alone there, except for a couple of strangers who were sitting there in their own private bubbles of meditation. So I took the hint and I joined them. What I felt for the first time in at least 5 years, and if I'm really honest about it, probably much of my 28 years at that point, was pure, uninterrupted silence. I was here now. In that place, time stopped for me. And then I heard a voice. Yeah, in my head. It formed a very quiet, neutral, clear, and powerful sentence. And what it said was, it's time to go out on your own. What I interpreted that to mean was that I was ready to leave my current job and start my own business. So that's what I did. I came down from the mountain armed with a mission, and in 30 days, I had launched my first multi-million-dollar agency. In an instant, I changed how I thought about myself entirely. I was thinking about myself as a victim of my circumstances, just accepting whatever life had handed me. And then I stepped into an active role of creating a life I truly wanted. And just like that, I stepped into my power. I believe all of us have an inner voice that makes us unstoppable. It makes us unstoppable in achieving what we might have thought was never possible, in fact. But how do we begin? And is it really possible to tap into it on demand? Yes. Connecting with our inner wisdom on demand is a skill any of us can learn. Of course, our cultural bias is to see conscious, linear, logical, scientific method as the infallible approach to solving problems. More subtly, we have come to believe that there is only a single right solution to any problem, and it must be checked and validated against facts and data. And most notably, it must avoid failure. What we don't realize is that while our conscious mind, which is only 10% of our thought process, is working on the problem, so is the 90% of our thought process, which is unconscious. And it's taking a completely different approach. It doesn't exclude logic, but it adds intuition, creativity, and imagination. When we leverage the full power of our unconscious thinking to solve problems, it improves our overall well-being. Research has shown that it helps us to achieve stability, both socially and emotionally. It limits the levels of anger, frustration, and aggression we experience. We perform at higher levels without exhaustion. We also, most importantly, have more fulfilling personal and professional lives. The most common question when I share this with clients who are embarking on the intuition skill building that I teach is, but how can I trust my intuition? Well, the truth is, our intuition is serving us faithfully all the time. It is constantly providing guidance and offering up solutions to our much slower, conscious, logical mind. There are many practices that can help us to trust it, access it, and to strengthen the ability to do so on demand with reliable results. Here are some of the common practices I teach. One is creativity and creative expression. I don't care whether you're baking, storytelling, dancing, singing, any of the creative arts, it inevitably creates a connection between our conscious and unconscious mind. Another is to explore meditation and mindfulness. These are the art of stilling the mind in order to hear ourselves at deeper levels. The next one is a little unusual to some people. It's observe everything, or some call it high noticing. And that is to use the senses to really drink in the sound of the birds, the smell of your food, the texture of your clothes. Noticing your outer experience actually deepens the connection to your inner experience. And that means also listen to your body. Your body is a perfect channel for intuition to tell us what we need in order to perform at better levels. And then pay attention to your dreams. Some people don't believe that they actually do dream, but we all do. And when you practice remembering your dreams, you also strengthen that connection between the unconscious and conscious mind. Sensing a thread here? Well, the last one that I'll share with you is perhaps obvious. Find time to relax and be still. We live in an overstimulated and distracted world. All the more reason to make stillness and being fully present a priority. Look, the greatest stumbling block that we have to using our intuition is our conscious thinking. I'm not against conscious thinking, of course, but instead of trying to figure out a solution purely at that level, begin by getting still and then ask these 5 magic questions for your own inner wisdom to receive the guidance that you crave. So ask your intuition. Question 1, what do I want? We live in a world with an increasing number of generations feeling adrift, depressed, without meaning and purpose. It is important to understand and embrace our inner desires. That puts us on the path to real possibility. Second magic question is, how does this insight align with my values? Our values define us, but many of us do not know or cannot articulate what our values actually are. I've done this work. My values are boldness, curiosity, and adventure. And I measure everything that I do against how it aligns with my values. The third magic question is, what direction am I actually headed here? Many of us are just going with the flow. I certainly was. And you can be very successful on the outside doing life that way. However, when you intentionally set your course using your inner wisdom, you're going to experience true success, which we call fulfillment. The fourth magic question is, what obstacles actually exist here? You know, there's always going to be challenges in life. We know that. When we check in with our inner wisdom and look courageously at what could go wrong, and our intuition will tell us, we are better prepared to be flexible and dynamic in our approach to solving them. And lastly, the fifth magic question, how am I owning this insight? Until we commit to taking real, timely, measurable action on an intuitive insight, it's not a decision, it's just a dream. There are countless ways to build our intuitive muscle. Each of us is unique in what we will find most effective. I personally like to use a variety interchangeably. But look, if you're new to intentionally activating your intuitive connection, that might sound like a little bit of work. I'm not suggesting that you try all of this all at once. Many of my clients spend months practicing these skills, asking themselves these questions. So don't beat yourself up if it takes time. When you trust the fire within, you will be truly unstoppable.